for the real deal New England feel.
I went off the rails. I might so down and be ashamed of myself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Corso. Catone is here. Joe's with us in the booth. You are watching us on YouTube, listening on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, anywhere you podcast, you can catch us. And of course, when you're on YouTube, check out our shorts and short reels. Those are getting pretty popular, Mark.
Yeah.
People like your voice. That's saying many of the comments. You know, they said I didn't know Joe Pesci did a podcast. Is what?
Yeah, please.
So check those out, and of course, subscribe. Give us that thumbs up. You can give us a call and heated hotline also 855-313-PATS PATS 24/7 message line. Leave us a message, or you can email us on our mailbag corso.catone@gmail.com. Got a busy one. We're going to start with Yankees versus Red Sox. Mark's got some things to go over with us. We're going to talk a little bit about the small market. I like the title. Yankees, Red Sox, small market, because that's what pretty much it is at this point. So we'll talk about that. And in Pat's preview, want to talk weapons for Drake May, wide receivers. We're going to discuss that a little bit. And some things that have been discussed this week that are irritating the hell out of us. So we'll get into that. And, of course, Catone's comments. You never want to miss that. Stick around for that. And B's and C's. Is he coming back? Is Tatum coming back?
Oh,
Is he coming back?
It's like a soap opera.
It is like a soap opera, so we'll get into all of that. Hi, guys.
Hey,
congratulations to the U.S. women's hockey team. They won gold today. We're recording on Thursday. So they won gold today.
Game.
Oh, it was a good game. It went into – they were losing 1-0 with and then 2 minutes left in the game. They tied it up. And then they went ahead in overtime and got the game winner.
It was a great game.
What do you think of the 3-on-3 in overtime?
I think it's exciting. It adds to it, right? Rather than playing a normal overtime. Now, I don't know if the men do that too. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? It's good. It makes it exciting. I mean, otherwise it just drags on.
Well, I like it.
I like it.
I like it. Let's go. No shootouts. I think they used to do a shootout.
Yeah, at the end of the overtime. They should do that in the playoffs for hockey, because you got these games that last forever in hockey.
In the NHL.
In the overtime, in the playoffs. Right?
Yeah, it was. But it was exciting. And again, congratulations to the U.S., to us.
Yes, us.
And now the men are going to be.
The men's going to be interesting.
Tomorrow night, Friday night, they'll be playing Slovakia in the semifinal to see who goes to the gold medal game on Sunday morning, bright and early. Sunday morning.
You may be taping that.
I will be.
You only get up that early for the Patriots.
That's it. So U.S. Canada, hopefully, I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. But they had some drill. So it's been great hockey. It's been great hockey.
It's been great hockey
so far. But we want to talk about some baseball, guys. So we want to do that. Want to get ready to do that in Yankees versus Red Sox whenever you're ready. There's Godzilla. There's the opening, and we missed that one, Joe.
It's been a while, huh?
So, Mark, let's get caught up on everything. Let's start with the Red Sox.
Yep.
I don't know what we get out of trying to compare, a roster before we've played a game with one that finished a season. We're trying to build as competitive a roster as we can, and I think there's a lot of things that go into that. I think we're going to pitch really, really well. I think improved infield defense, and a lot of offensive upside. But to talk about it at this point, I'm not sure it does a lot of good. We're going to get evaluated based on how the season goes, and we understand that.
Shut up.
That was Breslow. Talking, they were asking about the rosters, from last year to this year. You ever watch that show Star Trek? The one with the robot, the Data.
Yes.
His name is. Yeah, that's who that is.
That's who that is.
Like a goddamn robot.
I don't know why Chris, they put him in front of the mic.
I don't know why any of them talk in front of the mic, because we're going to hear from Sam Kennedy in a second.
Keep them off camera. Keep them off the mic. I mean, it makes them look worse.
So the Boston Red Sox, okay, and it's not even as bad. We'll get into the Yankees in a second. Because I think I'm more pissed off at the Yankees than I am the Red Sox right now. But the Red Sox, okay. So here are the additions, okay. Ranger Suarez, Wilson Contreras, Sonny Gray, Oviedo, Durbin, right?
Yep.
And
IKF, who played for the Yankees.
Yeah, IKF. Okay. And then the subtractions of Bregman, Fitz, Dobbins, Harrison, Hamilton, Hicks, Matt. So pretty much everything they got in the Devers deal
is gone.
Yeah. Which that kind of solidifies that it was a money thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't want to pay the salary.
He was bad in the clubhouse. That's why they did it.
Yeah, right. That's what it is.
It wasn't money. Sure. He was a bad fit in the clubhouse.
Because Cassis is a good fit, isn't he? I think Cassis and Swayman are the same guy, But anyway, those two horses are. So, okay. Why is ownership so full of shit, Mark? That's what I want to know about the Boston Red Sox. Why do they have to be? I don't
know, Chris. I don't even know what. Like, everything with them is like they're trying to gauge PR, and if they get negative press or negative PR and they get beat up,
they walk it back.
Or they'll go make a reactionary move and make a deal or make a trade, or like Bregman left and they immediately signed Roger Suarez. That was their reaction to losing Bregman like a day later. Like that's what they do. Well, see, this was our plan. You know what I mean?
And not that I think it's a bad thing. Because I don't in this situation. But what's his name? Henry hasn't spoken. Did you realize that Henry hasn't addressed the media in 6 years? 6 years?
No, it hasn't been that long.
That's what I heard this week. I heard that he hasn't had a press conference in like 6 years.
He must be, somewhere.
Which is probably not a bad thing that clown stays away from the microphone.
No, you don't need him speaking.
But then
because he's too wrapped up in all his other financial endeavors. He's not. This is just one little spoke for him. Like over here, we get all the diehard baseball fans, but to him, this is just another little spoke in his financial empire. This is, you know what I mean? This is not important to him anymore, the Boston Red Sox. It's part of his financial empire to make money. And it's just another piece of, his investments. That's all it is.
Well, that's what it's important to. That it's important to him for it's not a money making scheme. It's
and
not
he's making money.
Winning baseball, winning games, and winning championships. That's less important.
As long as they can get a wild card or be competitive and play until late September, fighting for a wild card, and every game sold out, he don't give a shit.
And this clown just keeps getting paraded in front of the press.
I haven't had discussions with Alex about anything other than the goal at hand right now with what's in front of us these next 15 games. So that'll all take care of itself. He wants to be here. We want him to be here. And I'll leave it at that. I'll look.
Okay, that was last year. That was in like September.
Yeah.
This is what he had to say when talking about Bregman. And I put that in there because I want to make sure we hear that first. So that's in September. He wants to be here. We want him here. This was the other day.
Alex Bregman wanted to be here. Ultimately, he'd be here.
But as an organization, is there a policy to not give out no trade clauses?
We try not to talk about organizational policies and the finer points of negotiations because it just doesn't serve you well if you do that.
The narrative put it on you, maybe more so than Alex Bregman.
Yeah, look, that's totally fair. And sometimes I get myself in trouble by saying too much. Then I get myself in trouble by not saying enough. So I think with Alex Bregman, I'll just leave it at huge gratitude for what he meant to this organization. He's an awesome guy. We loved having him in that clubhouse. Reagan and the family were terrific. Got to know his dad, who's I think running for governor of New Mexico. It's a great family. He is an all-world baseball guy and loved having him. He's now a Chicago Cub. He's going to come back at the end of the season. Hopefully we're both gearing up for October baseball and playing each other, and we really wish him well.
That's a full zero.
Yeah. So I guess So I guess
not that I want to hear that imbecile.
I know
anymore. The season's over. Put him on the shelf.
So Mark, I guess you could throw a guy under the bus, but it's okay if you say his wife's name the next day, and you make it sound like the family, and you're all friends with. They're all Reagan and this one. Listen. This guy is as full of shit as anybody I've ever heard in my life.
You know who else is full of shit? And I want to know what his credentials are. And here's what I want to know. You and I aren't on ESPN. We're not on any of these big networks. But I want to know how this guy, David Schoenfield, is on ESPN. Yeah. He says he's giving the Red Sox an A.
I know. I saw that.
For their offseason moves, Chris. He says not everyone might feel the same, but I absolutely love this offseason from Craig Breslow and his staff. Remember, the Red Sox now operate under a budget. This guy's talking about the Reds under a budget, Chris. Now, we're not the Rays, but we're under a budget. Breslow can't light money on fire the way the Red Sox did during the 2010s under Dave Dombrowski. No, they didn't re-sign Bregman, but the trade for Durbin gives them a player who projects to just one less win in value than Bregman. Here we go, analytics, Chris. Here we go.
Yep.
They're into the analytics, right? Then he goes on to say, the trades for Gray and Contreras bring in win-now veterans who also won't hemorrhage the long-term payroll.
Right.
And Suarez is a riskier bet on a 5-year, $130 million deal, but he has been a consistent performer since 2021 with only durability concerns. The Red Sox are deep and good. They might be my pick in the American League East. Listen, whatever this guy's on, go buy me boxes of it. I want boxes of whatever this guy Schoenfield's on. I want boxes and boxes of it.
Listen, I don't necessarily disagree.
Where the hell did this guy come up with an A? It ain't for what?
I don't think they had a horrendous offseason or anything. I'm certainly not an A. I mean, I give them maybe a B minus. Okay, because they did bring guys in. And by the way, I'm okay with them. I'm okay because I think Chicago overpaid for Bregman. I think everybody overvalued what Bregman brought to the table.
They did overpay for him.
So that's fine. What I got a problem with is the horse's ass way they behave and with the things they say. You want to throw the player? So I'm sorry. Okay. So the Boston Red Sox, okay? It's on the player because he didn't take your shitty deal. It's the player's fault for going out and getting the top dollar for his services. That's on him. That's on Bregman. That's his fault. If he wanted to be here, he would be here.
Yeah. In other words,
are you crazy?
He's going to take a team-friendly deal.
Why? Who for you? What?
At this stage of his career, nobody's going to take a team-friendly deal.
You should never take a team. What are you taking a team-friendly deal to begin with? Pay Red. Like, in other words, you're so chicken shit. They're such chicken shit. I can't stand when owners like this, they open their mouth and say these kinds of things. It pisses me. Like, in other words,
please.
I mean, they'd be quick to get out of that contract if they had to. They would not have to pay it. I mean, nobody begrudges them for doing those kinds of things. But you're gonna come down on the player because he took the most money. Pay him then. Give him. You want him here? Pay him. Listen. This is a joke of that. What you just read. What's the most striking thing out of that whole thing you just read is now they flipped the table completely. Now they are considered a small market team because now money is mentioned in. Nobody ever talks like that about the Dodgers.
No. They don't want to lock up risky long-term money because they're a small market, mid-major. Right. They're a small to mid-market team now. That's what they've become. Yeah.
You would maybe
maybe they're not small market, but they're mid-market. They ain't the Reds. They ain't top of the food chain anymore.
You would never. And I know we spent pretty much all the time on the Red Sox, and last week we talked a lot about the Yankees. We did.
We talked about this shit lineup. I think the Red Sox did more than the Yankees did.
They did.
Season.
They absolutely did. That's
the
why
Yankees
you can't give them
basically brought back the same team.
Right. If the Red Sox get a B minus, then then the Yankees get a freaking C minus or D in their off season.
Yeah, in their off season. Yeah, 100%.
I'm just sick of time. Like, in other words, you would never read an article about the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mark, that mentions at all about money, a budget.
Nope.
And now you know that both of these teams.
You know the Red Sox are dying for a salary cap to be put in place. They're dying for it.
Are we headed for? I want to be the time we got left. We headed for a strike or a lockout?
You're gonna have a lockout next year.
Talk about that.
This will be the last season you see baseball for a while because it's going to be a long lockout, Chris. I wouldn't be surprised if you miss an entire season just because the players are not going to give in. But they want a salary cap type of structure because of what the Dodgers have been doing. And the owners are going to push for that hard, and there's going to be a stalemate and a standoff. And so I don't know if you'll see baseball next year, Chris. I want to be honest.
I think
so we
right.
better enjoy it this year because I don't think you're going to see it.
It isn't so much the cap that I care about; it's the floor.
Yeah, it's the floor, and they're going to play with, and they're going to play with it.
Because the Colorado teams like the Rockies and these kind of teams, that's who you're worried about. You're worried. That's what needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Is the floor. The floor needs to come up. Like these teams that get away with just not paying at all. Like.
No,
that's the biggest problem. I don't care about the cap. I don't care what the Dodgers. I'm fine with what the Dodgers are doing. Go ahead, print money and spend it. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Spend it.
And Mark, the last thing, the Yankees are not. It's not like they're not spending. They're third in payroll. They're third in both sides of it.
Yeah, but
they're just making bad decisions.
It's bad decision. You got Stanton locked up for all this money with the original deal you gave him. You never tried to renegotiate with him, restructure. Bite the bullet and get rid of them, but they don't want to bite the bullet because they don't want to they don't want to eat dead money. Well, you're gonna have to eat dead money if you want to redo your roster. You're gonna have to eat the dead goddamn money. Bellinger, I think they overpaid for him. I'm not impressed with Bellinger. You got the kid Jones, Spencer Jones, hit a bomb off for Fried today in batting practice. A bomb. Yeah. So why aren't you giving a kid like that a shot? Why are you spending that money on Bellinger? I wouldn't. You got Dominguez. I don't know why you spend money on Bellinger. That's a waste of money, in my opinion. With two guys like Jones and Dominguez waiting for their chance, what the hell did you, Grisham? Why did you even go to goddamn arbitration with him? Let him go. Who gives a shit? Like, what are you doing? Because Grisham ended up being cheap money, Chris, in the arbitration. He accepted it. Oh, so they'll get a year out of him at cheap money. Comparatively speaking, compared to a guy you're going to have to give 4 or 5 years to. So they brought him back. That guy shouldn't be on the roster.
So while they're third in payroll, it was third in spend. It isn't really. It's a falsetto.
It's a
falsetto. So let's see what's going to happen this with these two teams, because with the Yankees, to us it's foolish spending and not good roster building. And with the Red Sox, the pitching's going to look good. But where the hell's the bat? Where's the other bat in the lineup?
I don't know.
So
the construction of the Yankees, Chris, is the same construction it's been the last year, same as it was last year. It's a flawed team, a flawed lineup.
Slug your way to a World Series.
But not enough right-handed hitting, Chris. You're not going to win in the playoffs with the lineup they got. It's too left-handed heavy. Cashman ought to be ashamed of himself, and so shouldn't Steinbrenner. But they're doing just like the Red Sox. Yeah, I know.
Don't they have like 3 left-handed catches or some stupid thing like that?
Some stupid thing like that. Yeah, Yeah.
So, well, we'll see what happens. We're going to be tracking it all season long because it may be the last season that we have for a bit, as Mark said. So pay attention to that. But Yankees versus Reds, it's good to get back at you. Are you happy to get back at the baseball?
Well, we don't have a choice now. We got the World Baseball Classic coming up. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. So, Yankees versus Red Sox was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. When we come back, going to go talk a little Patriots. Pat's preview is next.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, talk with these expert attorneys. CorsoLawGroup.com.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. All right, so let's go. Get the offseason now is underway in full go. The franchise tags are allowed to be used now. That's the next step, and then we're going to get to free agency. It's going to be here pretty quick.
And next week we got the end. Next week is the, I believe, is it next week? Yeah, next week is the combine.
Yeah, so a lot to discuss, a lot to go over, but we want to break down in Pat's preview a little bit of wide receiver today because that's what we think is the number one need. Let's get it done.
Pat's preview.
Yeah, I'm out of the contract, you know what I'm saying? I anticipate being here, so I hope so. Love my guys. So I had a hell of a year playing with them, built some real family-like bonds, so I hope so.
That was Stephon Diggs when asked if he's returning or if he wants to return. Of course he wants to return. I don't know that there's a lot of teams going to be banging on the door. So,
yeah. Not at that price he can't return, Chris. I'll tell you that right now.
Because he's going to count for like 20-something million, I guess.
After
right?
June 1st, yeah.
So, and I think he's got a March. I want to say the beginning of the league year. So if he's on the roster, then he counts whatever the hell he counts against it, against the cap or guaranteed.
Beginning of the league year
$9 million or something like
before free agency, right?
Yeah, so he's guaranteed money at the beginning of the year. He and Bondmore are in that same situation. So the question is, if they're going to do something, if they're going to let him walk, or they're not going to, they're going to do something with Diggs, they're going to do it before that March date.
Yeah,
that's coming quickly. So that led Mark and I to thinking about what now everybody, we know everybody thinks about the offensive line. Offensive line. Yeah. We're different. We want weapon on this team. We want weapons for Drake May. We want a number one receiver.
We understand Moses is getting old. And yeah, maybe you need to try to address that in the middle rounds of the draft. Maybe you get another year out of Moses. You can develop somebody to take his spot at right tackle. Yeah, we're okay with that. We don't have a problem with that. The left side, you're going to have to probably keep Campbell where he is. And Wilson,
he may move in.
Maybe you move him to center, but you can find guards in free agency, Chris. You can get guards. You're not getting tackled. You can get a veteran guard in free agency and stick him in Wilson's spot. So you're right. We don't want to see the offensive line, be the obsession of this team this offseason, unlike others.
Yeah. I mean, you got that article from CBS Sports that came out this week. It talked about 2025 AFC champion Patriots coasted to a 14-3 record while playing the easiest regular season strength of schedule since 1999 Rams. Come playoff time, the Pats continued to provide soft landings. The Chargers with the tackles, the Texans with the top two passing targets out. And I'll add that C.J. Stroud wet down his leg. Yeah. The Denver Broncos had Jarrett Stidham. It wasn't exactly a huge surprise. They fell behind the healthy Seahawks 19-0 and eventually 29-12 in the Super Bowl defeat. This isn't to say New England will miss the playoffs in 26, but could easily see the regular season record decline by 4 or 5 wins. So, with that being said, to me, the way you prevent the 4 or 5 wins from going away is go get yourself a number one receiver. Get yourself a legitimate threat.
And everybody wants that, Chris. Buffalo's going to be in the market for that. Kansas City may be in the market for that. Like, it's not just us that are looking for that number one receiver, obviously.
But why is this not first and foremost on the minds of the New England people and the team and the media and everybody else? I mean, they've been talking about receivers all week. I get it.
Over 20 years under Belichick, it was beaten into submission into these people's brains that you got to build from within. Offensive line, defensive line,
inside out.
Inside out. And that's still the belief here, Chris. They're nothing but prima donnas and they're not worth the money that with the headaches that they bring as these prima donna guys and that's the attitude towards wide receivers in this region. And I just don't understand it. And it's never changed. Even though you've seen over the last few years, last year, Philly wins it Because they had 2 number 1 receivers in the roster.
Don't talk to me about Barkley in the offensive line because that didn't work in the Super Bowl.
That didn't work. Granted, the defense played great, but they won that game because of those 2 wide receivers. When Kansas City was at the peak of their greatness, they had a number 1 wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. He was a number 1. He was one of the top receivers in football. That's who they had. He left, and that offense has never been the same. Yeah, they've won Super Bowls, but they're not the same offense, Chris. They haven't been since they lost Hill.
So the response you get from people, and I'm just going to play this side of it just so you can put it to bed. Well, what about the Cincinnati Bengals? I mean, they had Chase, they got Higgins, and they haven't been able to win anything. Burrow gets himself killed that, and Seattle won the Super Bowl last year. This just the other day, 2 weeks ago.
They don't get there without Smith-Njigba.
And Smith-Njigba didn't do anything in that game.
But it didn't matter. They wouldn't be in the game without him. They wouldn't have beaten the Rams without the performance of Smith-Njigba in that game.
But this is the ignorance that you
and Chris,
that you hear.
Cincinnati, that guy couldn't coach middle school flag football. The coaching staff over there, middle school flag football, they couldn't coach. The fact that they're still coaching Cincinnati is amazing to me. Amazing.
I still don't like his answers 3 years later that he gave me in person, face to face, Zach Taylor, when I asked him why the hell he did what he did in the AFC Championship game. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, listen, I'm the same way. So, well, you got to protect your quarterback. You got to protect your quarterback. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again and again and again and again. How many times did Witherspoon blitz in our game in that Super Bowl?
At least 6. Yeah.
How many times did he blitz in the Rams NFC Championship game?
0.
Why?
How was he blitzing with Adams and Nakua and the wide receivers and the running backs coming out of the backfield? He couldn't blitz.
A number 1 receiver. Football is about dictating terms. Okay? It's about one side dictating terms to the other side throughout the game, right? Okay? If you have a number 1 wide receiver, you're now dictating to that defense what they can and can't do against you. Yeah. You've taken pieces of their playbook away because they have to deal with what you're bringing to the table.
Chris, could you please
why don't people get that?
Could you please tell people what Seattle was in defensively in the Super Bowl?
Base.
Thank you. So they were in. Why?
They were in split safeties, 2 high shell, and they got Imanori, who's a great tweener, safety linebacker. They could stop the run while being in 2 high safeties. Rushed 4 guys most of the time. They blitzed 6 times with Witherspoon. But most of the times they rushed with 4. It was base. It was simple stuff.
Why were they able to do that? Because
they're better. Because they're better. Because we don't have
because we have the weapons.
Because you have nobody that could dictate coverage to them. You have nobody that could say to them that the Mike McDonald's going to sit there and go, "Oh, he ain't blitzing Witherspoon today. I got A.J. Brown sitting out there. What the hell am I going to do against that?" So, look. Number 1 receivers get separation quickly. That means the ball comes out quickly. That means you got to hold up cover. You got to hold up blocking. I'm not saying our offensive line doesn't need work. It does. It needs help. It needs to get better. No question. Okay. You can't allow a team to rush 4 guys and get to them, but the ball should be out quick. And the reason the ball's not out quick is you don't have confidence in the fact that these guys can't get open. They can't get separation. And then what happens? His head goes down and he starts missing guys that are open. We see that. Okay.
Yeah.
So for you and me, let's get a number 1. How do we do that? How do you want to do it? You want to do it in free agency? You want to do it in the draft?
Okay. So let's address free agency first, because there's not a lot of them in free agency. Let's quickly address free agency. If you go to free agent route, Chris, what's out there?
You got George Pickens for the Cowboys.
But I think they can tag him.
They can.
Yeah, I don't think he hits the market. I think before he hits the market, they would trade him. They would tag him and trade him.
Yeah. So, because his franchise tag for him was about $28 million for 26.
They would tag him. They would tag him. That's short money for them. They would tag him, and if they have to trade him, they'll trade him and let somebody else negotiate a contract with him.
But if they don't tag him, is that a guy you want to pay and bring in? They could have drafted him.
They could have drafted him and they didn't. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, Chris? He is a number 1. He showed that in Dallas.
93 catches for 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Well, you brought up an interesting point though yesterday to me, Chris. You said, Mark, 1,000 yards in this league isn't what 1,000 yards was 7-8 years ago in this league.
20 guys had 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah.
So if you're just going on the yards, I mean, this guy had almost 1,500 yards. So that's different. Yeah, he's definitely a number one. He's one of those guys, though. He's one of those guys. He's one of those problem guys. But like I told Joe last week, right? If your culture can't withstand some of these guys, then your culture's not worth the paper it's printed on. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's Pickens. What about Pierce? Alec Pierce. You hear that name being floated around a lot.
Now I know you like him. We both like him. We think he's an
I do and I don't.
He's intriguing. But here's the thing with him, Chris. Because of the limited options in free agency, you're going to have to overpay for him because teams are going to offer him money. So you're going to have to overpay for him. And I just don't think I would overpay for him. It's a risk to overpay for him, in my opinion. Yes, he brings things to the table that you need on offense. But, Chris, to pay what he's going to probably get, I don't know. I don't think I do that.
It's going to be in the 20s somewhere, I think.
What are his strengths? What does he bring to the table quickly?
Well, to me, he's the best deep threat receiver in the game, but not that's available. Let me say that. Leading the league in yards per catch in each of the last 2 seasons. Okay, so he topped 1,000 yards in 25. Now again, he's one of 20 guys. The problem I have with him is he only had 47 catches. But Jamar Chase, as a comparison, had 101 more 100 more targets than Pierce did in 25, but only 400 yards more yards than Pierce. You know what I mean? So like, so I don't know. I think I feel like Pierce is your deep threat guy. So he's the deep threat guy, and with Drake May being the guy that can probably one of the best deep throwers in the game, it's a guy you want to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you sit on some of these guys, Evans and Rashid and
Evans? Evans is another guy, Chris. He's past his prime. You're reaching for stuff. I see a guy like Evans ending up maybe with like a team like the Rams. Those are guys like McVay loves to bring in. You know what I mean? He squeezes every ounce of juice he can get out of him. Rashid, Chris, he's a deep threat, but that's all he gives you. He's a one-trick pony. If you're looking for something else, Rashid's not the guy, right? Rashid worked in Seattle down the stretch because he had Smith-Njigba with him. I would look at the trade market, Chris, too.
And so you're looking at guys like A.J. Brown.
Yep.
Right?
You know who else I'm looking at?
Yeah,
Brian Thomas Jr.
So tell everybody what I thought about that. About what you take the first pick him, and then you still do what?
So here's what I would do. I get rid of Bondmore because I think you can get a second-round pick for Bondmore.
Now, is that a trade situation?
Trade. I would trade Bondmore for a second-round pick. I would trade Bondmore.
Yeah.
Nope, I would give it him for a second-round pick. I think you'd get a second-round pick, Chris, because he did produce well when Milton Williams was playing. So if you can't get a second-round pick, you absolutely can get a third-round pick for him. Absolutely. Yeah. But I think you can squeeze a second out of somebody. So if you did that, you then could conceivably trade that second-round pick for A.J. Brown, because I think a second-round pick it would do it. Definitely would do it. So you'd still have a second-round pick, and you'd get A.J. Brown. That's a no-brainer. A goddamn no-brainer.
All right. How about this instead? What I told you last night.
Go ahead.
Your guy. How about
Brian Thomas Jr. Give up the 31st pick.
31st pick, and then take that second pick that you get and draft. They'll never do it. No one will ever do this. But to me, you trade for Brian Thomas Jr. and you take that second pick, that second round pick.
You traded for Bondmore. Yep.
And you go draft Bernard out of Alabama.
Yeah, well, that's my guy. Yeah. Which nobody's mentioning, by the way. Again, another guy nobody's mentioning but me. So it's February 19th. I just want to put it on record that this is a guy I've been telling Chris about since probably October. And Chris is like, who the hell's that? Now, next year, when he puts up numbers, people are going to say, where did this guy come from? Catone had him on his board high on February 19th. Just write the name down, please, everybody. Because people think we make this stuff up.
Well, tell everybody about him a little bit.
They think we make this shit up. So you can do either with him, Chris. You can put him in the slot. You can play him as an X. You can put him in motion. He's a fantastic route runner. The thing I love about him, Chris, he would have been devastating in that Super Bowl because he finds the soft spot in the zone like nobody else in college football. His quarterback was atrocious. His offense was atrocious. His head coach was atrocious at Alabama. But nobody in college football, Chris, finds the zone, the soft spot in the zone like this kid. Okay? I'm telling you right now. So I would take him with a second-round pick in a minute. I would take him in a minute because I think he's going to drop to the second round. I do.
Phil Perry keeps talking about this conception bust.
Listen, Phil, another bust, just like your buddy Williams. Another bust. Concepcion's a bust.
There you go. So you could do that. You could trade for Brian Thomas Jr. and you could draft the kid, and now you're set. Now you have young receivers. Like yeah, well. I mean, you're not. Listen, why not? I mean, why not?
Because they won't do it. They will not. They just don't do that, Chris. That's not something they do. So if you get one receiver out of this, we should feel fortunate. And I'm going to tell you who it's going to be. It ain't going to be A.J. Brown. It ain't going to be Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, I'm going to throw up now when you're going to tell me this. Go ahead.
Well, I'm telling you who it's going to be. It ain't going to be Tyreek Hill. It's not. It's going to be your guy. It's going to be Pierce. Because that's the type of receiver they take.
Well,
that's the type of receiver they take, Chris. They're not going to take the shot on the big, high-priced, flashy. They're not going to do it. They're going to take this kid, Pierce. Hope you get him for 20-something million for, 3 years at 80. And that's who they'll bring in.
I don't mind Pierce, but again, I want to shoot for the sky, like friggin' AJ Brown. That's a game changer. Brian Thomas Jr. It's a perfect time. Listen, Mark. Look.
So AJ Brown was on Edelman's podcast,
yeah,
and they said we are all patriots, and they were busting his beans, and they said, "Are you going to be a patriot?" And he looked at him, he smiled, and he gave him a wink. Yeah, which tells me. No, he doesn't know if he's going to be a Patriot, but I bet you he's telling his agent, listen.
That's where I want to be.
That's you. If you can get Roseman to deal me, I don't know if he'll deal me, but if Roseman will deal me, that's where I want to go. I want to play for Vrabel. And he told a story about how Vrabel, he said Vrabes, called him Vrabes.
He's just the right. I hate Vrabes.
Yes. He said he pushed me my rookie year, and I wouldn't be the person I am and the player I am. He said if it wasn't for Vrabel. So he wants to go play for him. Absolutely, he does. Now, what about your buddy Crosby?
Okay, so
on another show
we will, but all I'll just say about Crosby is those stooges over at the Raiders, Brady Company. They're looking for 2 first-round picks for him.
Well, no one's
They're never going to get that.
He's not
Parsons.
Parsons, no. The only guy worth 2 first-round picks is Garrett, and Cleveland's not getting rid of him.
No, because if you go back and you look at Green Bay, that move Green Bay made to get Parsons for 2 first-round picks, I regret that if I'm them.
Oh, positively.
It's not his fault he got hurt. So, nevertheless, you're not giving up 2 first-round picks. I'm not doing that for anybody. So, I mean, listen, if they get Alec Pierce, at least it's something. Yeah, I want AJ Brown, but I'm on the Brian Thomas. I'm with you now. I'm on the Brian Thomas Jr. The only question I have in my mind at all is, and I know better because you know better, is why is Jacksonville considering this? He's in his 3rd year. He's still on his rookie deal.
For whatever reason, Chris, he doesn't. What that coach wants to run, he don't forget he drafted Travis Hunter. I don't think he just doesn't fit what they want to run.
It's not like they got anything great there.
No, but what he's running, Chris, doesn't fit Brian Thomas Jr.'s skill set. Let me ask you this:
I'll take him then. Whatever.
Would you give up a 1st-round pick for Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Because the father wants him out of there.
And I heard that today. They said, well, Harrison Jr. is one of those other guys that you're wondering why would Arizona want to get rid of a guy like that? Why? Because they're a mess. They're a mess of a franchise.
So they'll take as many draft picks as they can get. They got to do a reset over there.
They don't even have a quarterback. Oh, absolutely, I'll do that. I'll do that. Would you do that? Him or Brian Thomas Jr.? Yeah. You got to go against yourself. I know.
All right. Listen,
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a freaking.
I got to go Marvin Harrison Jr. I love Thomas. I told you coming out of the draft that I loved him, but I would go with Harrison. I take Harrison.
But the bottom line for everyone out there is you need a number one. You need a number one because it will help your pass protection. It will help Will Campbell. It will help Wilson. It will help everybody on that offensive line because it especially help Drake May because he will come open. He dictates coverage. That's it. And on top of it, and by the way, there's no reason you can't trade that pick, get one of those two guys, right? And then still restructure Diggs' contract. Because if they don't restructure his contract, I'm not paying him all that money, Diggs.
If you don't restructure, Chris, he's gone. They're not keeping him. They're not going to pay that money. And they're not going to pay Bondmore that money either. If Bondmore don't want to restructure, he's gone too. But Bondmore, they'll trade him.
Because if I were Diggs, I would go to them and I'd say, listen, I'll restructure it on this circumstance. If you guys are going to trade that pick and go get A.J. Brown and go get Brian Thomas, a guy like that, then I'll restructure and I'll stay here. Because if Diggs goes into as the Z, okay, he now can't be doubled in a game.
Yeah.
You can't double him now.
Yeah.
And he'll love that.
Yeah, he will.
So that's our deal. We're going to talk a lot more about this as the weeks go on.
Oh yeah, well we got to get into Gonzalez. We got a lot to talk about as the weeks go on.
But for wide receiver, yeah, you need the wide receiver. That should be the most important thing that they go and do in this offseason is get a true number one. Whatever it takes, get that done. So Pat's preview was presented by Corso Law Group, corsolawgroup.com. We come back. You ready to go?
I'm always ready to go.
Buckle up. Catone's comments is next.
No one ever thinks they'll be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer. But things happen. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, go to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys.
Time for Catone's comments!
It's been so bad, college basketball, that we haven't had a PC minute, a Friar minute in weeks and weeks and weeks. But I have to take today Catone's comments to talk about them because I don't know if anybody saw the game Saturday against St. John's. Our old coach Rick Pitino came in here with that slug, Bryce Hopkins.
I saw the fight.
You saw the fight, right? Yeah. So he comes in with Bryce Hopkins, who jerked us around for 2 years. Yes, I know he hurt his knee the first, and then last year. Said his knee was sore, wasn't right, this and that. Was a bunch of bullshit. He jerks us around last year. Says he's going to rehab it, get it right for this year. He knew full well last year he was never coming back here, but yet he took the goddamn, I don't know what we gave him, like $3 million, whatever we paid him last year. He took the goddamn money. And I'm not going to get into my sources, but they also, part of his NIL was they took care of his father. Trust me. His father was taken care of. In a couple of different ways, okay? So, they took care of this kid. And then he sticks it to him at the end. And he says, yeah, I'm going to the portal. Well, you know what? You knew you were going to the portal 3 months ago. So why'd you jerk us so long? When you should have just said when you said your knee was hurt and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to get my knee healthy. I'm out of here. I'm not going to be back next year. And let them plan. Don't dick them around like you think you got a shot that they might be able to retain you. He was spineless and gutless the way he treated. And don't give me this bullshit about, don't talk like that. He's an amateur athlete. These guys aren't amateur athletes anymore. I'm so sick of these people. I don't care if they're 18, 19, 20, 21, 27, 36. I don't care what their age is. These guys are in college and they're getting paid millions of dollars now. So they're no longer amateur athletes. So take that word out of your vernacular. There's no such thing as an amateur athlete when it comes to college football and college basketball anymore. These guys are all getting paid. Okay? So he's getting paid millions of dollars. So don't give me that bullshit about he's an amateur athlete. So I'm going to talk however I want to talk about him because in my eyes, he's a professional. He ain't a college kid. He's a professional. And he's about 22 years old, going on 23. So he's no kid. Okay? Now, he goes, in the PC game, he was playing like shit in the game. He got 2 shots blocked by a walk-on guard, 6-foot walk-on guard. The kid Daniels blocks 2 shots on him. Right? Now, he gets the ball. He gets the breakaway. He's going for the layup. The kid Duncan Powell goes up. Now, Powell should have went for the ball. You could have still went for the ball and made a hard foul. If you didn't hit the ball, fine. I don't know what he actually did, but he ends up grabbing him by under the neck and pull. That was stupidity because at the time, PC's winning the game 42-41. The momentum had shifted in that game. PC already beat him at Madison Square Garden. PC had them on the ropes again Saturday, and then all of a sudden that happens. You got guys thrown out. Powell gets thrown out, but your best guard, the guy who's been your best player the last 5 games, Jalen Sellers gets thrown out because he throws a punch. Whatever. So that cost you that game. That incident cost you the game. But what pisses me off is he's spineless. You're spineless, Bryce Hopkins. Yeah, you're spineless. He starts the fight, and then he goes to half court, and he's watching it while all his teammates are throwing punches and fighting. His teammates are getting thrown out, and he's sitting there like a pansy ass at half court watching it all go on. Are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? And that's okay. And everybody feels bad because it was a hard foul. Listen, in the NBA, there's hard fouls every night. You know what? 1 game suspension, move on. They suspended him 3 games. They said because he was throwing punches after. If it was just a hard foul, maybe it would have went 1 game. But instead, it was 3. They made it a 3-game suspension. And then all the PC people, that's not what we stand for. But you're paying players. What do you stand for? What do you stand for? Tell me. I don't know. What do you stand for? So the coach, lambasts him. He's debating on whether suspending the kid for the rest of the year. The AD comes on. He chastises the kid and everything that happens. Napolillo should be fired. He's a disgrace. He has no business being the athletic director of a program like this. There's nothing happening with him as the AD. So I'm calling Napolillo out too. Napolillo, never mind English. English needs to get fired. And a half hour later, Napolillo needs to follow him out the door because he shouldn't be in charge of any goddamn coach church. I'm going to tell you that right now. Napolillo needs to go on the same bus and get the same cup of coffee from the same place that Kim English is going to go. That's what he needs to do. I don't care if he's a local kid. He's got to go. You got to go. You got to clean house in that athletic department. Clean house. But Bryce Hopkins, I have no sympathy for that hard foul. He ain't no amateur athlete, and he's gutless and spineless. Bryce Hopkins. That's a bunch of, they'll give me that bullshit about Bryce Hopkins.
I agree.
The only thing I can say this is when they make statements, Mark, like that's not what we're about. Okay? That's not what we're about. Well, what is it you're about? Losing.
Yeah.
That's what you're about then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like in other words, we that's a bad, like they, leave it to them. Leave it to them. Leave it to them to find the part of the story that's, how do I say this tactfully, Mark? I don't know how to say it tactfully. I can't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in other words, they look at that whole scene and that whole story, and their whole thing becomes the action. That's the image of us and who. I mean, it just leaves you scratching your head, wondering. You're right. Who the hell is in charge over here? Where are the adults in the room?
The program's going to help.
I think it's there. I think it's in hell right now. Yeah. I honestly, I mean, I'm watching this stuff and I'm like, I'm shutting my mouth over here because, but you're an alumni. It must make you sick to your stomach.
Oh, I'm disgusted. Totally
to watch what goes on there.
Sick. Totally sick to my.
And I was wondering if what you were going to say about the fact that he was standing there while his team was taking the beating.
A half court.
For
He's
him.
there half court. Yep. Now, imagine you, Chris. You ever getting off the bench for somebody like him again?
No.
He better hope he don't get himself into a scuffle the rest of the season, because I wouldn't have his back if I was his teammate.
No, absolutely not. I'm not. Like, in other words,
if anything, Chris, I would have went into the locker room as his teammate and said, "What the hell are you, a candy ass?
Yeah.
What were you doing? We were out there fighting."
right. But again, that's not the focus, is it? The focus is now, oh no, we're above all of that. No, you're not. You're not above any of it, or none of it happens.
Yeah.
But you bring it back to basketball though, Mark. It's
this is a lost season. We don't even talk about.
I mean,
basketball.
you said that
season.
coming in. You said that coming into the season. But you had said it last year that this guy English is.
I thought we had a potential this year, Chris. You actually got some talent on this team, but not with this guy.
Not for long.
Not he's this coach. No, the whole team's gonna have to be going. Whole team's gonna be replaced. But this coach is so bad, Chris. It's ridiculous.
Because any guy that you have on this team that's any good, they're gone.
The last thing I'll say about PC, this is going on his third year as coach, all last year and now all this year. How is it your team doesn't know how to defend a pick and roll? They go, rather than going underneath, they go over the top of a pick and roll and get set up, and the guy drives by, gets the ball, shoots, easy shot. They can't defend. They don't know how to defend a pick and roll, Chris. That's basic basketball. At that level, the Big East level, you can't defend the pick and roll. This is going on 2 years. They can't defend the pick and roll.
It's bad. And to say nothing about end of game, end of half situations.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Disgusting. You could be sure as hell that if that's a 5 or under game going into the last 2 minutes,
oh, he's losing.
They're going to lose that game.
Oh,
I'm talking about them being up.
Oh, yeah.
3 to 5
you're right.
points.
No, you're right. They're losing. 100%. They're losing 100%.
And then he's got this look on his face, Mark, on the sideline, like he's never seen it before. Like he's never seen the game of This is the coach I'm talking about. Like he's never seen the game of basketball before. What's this situation? I'm taking the ball out there? That's why I'm going to get the ball out? Oh, if I call the timeout, I get it there? Oh, okay. Like what? This is Providence College. This is the Big East, man.
Yeah, no, that's why we're in last place.
So, well, good stuff. I mean, your
grandfather would be disgusted.
It wouldn't even be. It would be. He would be disgusted if he was watching this. Good stuff, Mark. Catone's comments was, we'll keep it. Well, you know what? Why don't we want to keep getting updates though? So make sure. I know you're sick to your stomach, but you got to keep giving us updates. But Catone's comments was presented by Corso Law Group, CorsoLawGroup.com. And we come back, a little time we got left. We're going to go Bees. We're going to go C's, Bruins, Celtics. That's next.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, talk with these expert attorneys. CorsoLawGroup.com.
Back in with more Corso and Catone. The real
The Boston Celtics are the world champions, and they have shown the world how great a ball club they really are. Screen shot,
All right. That was the intro for Bees. I don't know what the hell you got going on over there today, Joe.
I don't know what is going on. Technical issues going on all day.
So hey, we're in B's and C's, Bruins Celtics right now. Mark, let's start with the Celtics. And it's Thursday. They're going to get started on the West Coast tonight. It's not really basketball at this moment that I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is this.
Good. It was good to be a part of practice yesterday with the main G League guys. Today is 39 weeks, so it's been a long journey. And it's just like the progression of who we have. it was the next step. Doesn't mean that, I'm coming back or not. It's just following the plan. So it's just another step.
How close do you feel to returning at this point if you're going to put a percentage on it?
I'm not going. I don't know. I don't know percentage. I just know I feel a little bit better every day, and I just try to focus on that.
You were talking recently about how maybe a little hesitant because of what these guys have accomplished, maybe trying to not be disruptive when you come back. If you come back, what was behind that? Are you still feeling that way?
I think just over 39 weeks, you have a lot of time on your hand. You think about a lot of things, and just hyper aware of what's going on. And I think it would just stem from that. Obviously, I know what I bring to the table. And,
so full of
bring
shit.
to the team. But I'm also aware that these guys have been playing extremely well. And not to say that I would come and mess it up or anything like that. It was just kind of being vulnerable, I guess, for a moment and talking from that perspective.
What the hell was that about?
Listen, well, okay. Is he coming back or not?
Of course he is.
Right. Okay. You don't do a 5-part docuseries. Okay.
First of all, I don't think, as an organization, I would say, listen, you're not coming back. You're not risking getting hurt again. You know what? Just keep rehabbing. Come back stronger than ever, and we'll see you at training camp.
I mean, listen, I'm the other.
Because Chris, they're not going to win it. They're not going to win a championship.
No, but if I have a chance, I know they're not going to win it. But if they can go to it, I'm okay. Listen, I'm of the belief that if you can play. Like if you're medically cleared to play, get your ass on the court.
He's going to be on a minute. He's going to be on a minute restriction. So even if he comes back and plays, he'll be on like 15, 20 minutes a game. 20 minutes.
People think like he's walking back through the door and he's going to be the same guy.
No, he's not. He absolutely isn't.
But how do you feel about all the bullshit, though? How do you feel about this?
As it's becoming a reality, I won't be out there to practice. I won't be out there when the season starts. That is frustrating to have to live through.
Only thing worse than not being able to walk is coming back and not being Jason Tatum.
That's a little clip of what's coming, this docuseries that he's got coming. So this guy basically had the cameras following him around for his whole rehab. And he's, and which, by the way, I'm fine. Make as much money as you can make.
Oh yeah, listen, that's like a Tom Brady move. That's that's smart.
If this was a thing in 2008, Brady would have done it.
Oh, of course he would have.
This whole little social media, all this stuff was going on in 2008. He would have done it. So I have no problem with the guy trying to earn coin off his rehab and all that. As long as the basketball decision doesn't interfere with the making the money on the docuseries thing, I really don't care. But it's part and parcel, and all the media in New England is all the putzes over there are part of the show. They don't know it, but they're all part of the show. With
part
the
of the show, positively.
Okay.
So if he comes back,
they flex
20
that
minutes,
game.
Yes, the Philly game, right?
They flexed the Philly game for a week from Sunday, and they took Oklahoma out of that game.
So a week from Sunday puts him at like 41, 42 weeks from the injury. So he's a little under a year, 52 weeks, a little under a year.
Yeah. I mean, look. That's when I think he's coming back. They flexed the game there.
He's absolutely coming back in that game.
But how does that? But then how does that work with this docuseries? 5-part docuseries wouldn't the last part of the docuseries be the time that's when he's coming back the game?
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, later then, depending on how often they air this crap.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
all right, the bigger question then for me.
Okay, but bringing him back, say it's 20 minutes a game, we'll throw a number out there. Where does that put them in the East? Does that put them as a contender to win the East? Where, you got I'm sorry. You've got Cleveland, you've got the Knicks,
York.
You've got Detroit.
Would be the.
Where does that put them in that mix?
Yeah, no, I think it puts them right there. I mean, if they're number 2 right now in the East, with what they have.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Vucevic was a good pickup for them.
Because those are the 4 teams, Chris, that are going to contend for the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, no, I think
it's going to be Cleveland, New York, Detroit, and I guess if Tatum comes back, you throw Boston in there?
I think they turn into the favorites now. I do.
The favorites?
To come out of the East.
Oh.
Come out of the East. I do.
Over Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, they're only 3 off. They're only, what, 4 games out of that now behind them.
Okay.
So what nobody's talking about, though, and I need to, last week I wanted to say this, and we didn't get to it. The bigger question is, what the hell is Jaylen Brown's mentality going to be? Because I say this is his. I'm saying it right now. This is Jaylen Brown's last year as a Celtic.
Ooh, okay.
He puts this tweet out, Mark. I'm proud of this group and all that. Jaylen Brown puts out, and then he puts the 2 records, the record from last year, the record from this year.
Basically saying, look what I did.
He actually puts the stats there.
Yeah.
To show that they're in the same place they were last year.
You sent me that when you saw it.
Like,
yeah,
this is a guy that now believes I'm a one.
So let me ask you a question, Chris. If you can get a couple of first-round picks for him, maybe you get lucky and get like a Cooper Flag in a lottery. Do you make a deal?
I just don't. I think you have to. I don't think there's any way these 2 guys are going to not coexist like they've never played basketball before. Yeah, they know how to play with each other. They know how to play out there on the court with each other. That's not the issue. The issue now is Jaylen Brown's that kind of guy. You don't put this kind of tweet out if you're not the kind of guy, that gets his ass hurt.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to do it, this is the year to do it because this is a very deep draft. It goes like 10, 12 deep of guys that'll really be solid all-star contributors. I'm not saying they're MVP guys, but they're going to be solid all-star contributors in this league. There's probably 10 or 12 of those. I'd say probably 10 of those guys in this draft. So this would be the draft to make the deal, Chris. If you're going to do it, you trade them and maybe get like 2. He's probably worth 2 first-round picks, one this year and maybe a future a future first-rounder. Because this is the draft, Chris. You got probably between 8 and 10 guys that I think could be all-stars in this league. You know what I mean?
I just don't see how. I don't see how these 2 guys coexist after this.
You named it. You put it on paper. Let's see if it comes to fruition.
So we'll see what happens. That's the part of this I wanted to pay attention to. And the only other thing I wanted to say, I know we're way over, but the only other thing I wanted to say, you have to talk about the Bruins a little. U.S. hockey. I am so glad that the rest of the world has to now endure.
I know this was coming.
Okay, the crap we got to put up with Jeremy freaking Swayman, who sucks. He sucks.
He gave up that shot from the past the red line, Chris, and he blamed the color of the boards. It's too dark.
I mean,
it's kind of dark above the glass. Well, let's go back and take another look at the goal that Jensen scored to make it 2-1. And a look from Swayman's point of view. And as the puck gets above the boards, you can see how dark it can be. And even the boards, if you look at the boards, I mean, where the Olympic signs are, those
kidding
are
me?
And I just think Swayman lost it. He thought it was going to his glove side and obviously went to the blocker.
I can't even listen anymore. He said at the end of after the game, boards, it's kind of dark, he says. You heard it right there at the beginning of that. It's kind of he says.
With a little bit of,
It's kind of dark, he says. What the hell is I'm just glad that the rest of the world can now feel our pain in dealing with this moron that we've been dealing with since he got here.
Because of the contract, we can't get rid of him either.
Right. You gave up a shot to some third world country, okay, from the red line, whoever the hell did it from, whatever country he was playing against. The guy is going to be herding cattle and goat next week, okay? He gave up a shot from the red line.
Strike that from the record, Joe.
Okay.
Strike it from the record.
He gave up that from the friggin' red line because it was too dark. No, you gave it up because you suck. And now the rest of the world knows you suck too. welcome to our world, the pain that we have to live, guys. That's it. That's all. I just needed to get that out about Jeremy Swayman as they come through. But good luck to the U.S. men's hockey that's going to play Slovakia, and then hopefully with Jeremy Swayman nowhere near the net, and then hopefully Sunday morning they'll play against probably Canada. In the gold medal game. So, but we got to go. We're late. Corso and Catone was presented by Corso Law Group. Hey, come back next week, noon Eastern. We're going to have Bruins Celtics when they come back. We'll talk about more Jeremy Swayman. I can't wait. Catone's comments, anything you bring to the table, we will be ready. We are Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. See you next Saturday.
Now find Corso and Catone on AM 790, The Score, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you podcast. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch the chaos every Saturday at noon.